The only other thing that I wanted to bring up is I think it's really interesting the similarities between Tony and Livia at in
Mm.
that people are coming to both of them for advice on things. And I just find that really interesting, because we see Tony, Hesh, the capos coming to Tony for help, and then both Tony and Junior are going to Livia to bounce things off. And so I find that really interesting because Tony and Livia are very different personalities. They are very different people. And yet, there is something in both of them that people are like, you know what? I need advice. I'm going to go to them. And so I'm just curious how, if the show is going to continue to like develop that kind of like that shared trait between them, and how Livia, for example, is going to use what she learns from Tony against him to benefit Junior. So I think it's really interesting that,
Mm.
like, Tony, we know can be trusted. When Hesh and them like come to him, we know that Tony is going to listen, he's going to think things through and like move methodically and try and get a good result for everybody. But we don't know that about Livia. And we don't know what game she's playing. So, how much is that going to come back to bite Tony in the butt? Because he was honest with his mom. Like, you will need so much therapy after that happens, but it's going to make for some great TV.
And I wonder if that is also an interesting, like, I'm just imagining the graph in my mind because that's how my brain works of Tony's progress, which Dr. Melfi is acknowledging for him of like, you're starting to realize these things. So he is growing in himself personally, coming to terms with a lot of things. And how will that progress regress and be shot back down many notches because of something that's going to happen in his world, betrayals in his world, betrayals from Livia, from people close to him, that's going to cause him to kind of spiral back to that place of being in a more unhealthy state too. So I'm like, we're making good progress, but as with any great like screenwriting and especially with TV, we constantly need to get knocked back and then grow a little bit more again and then get knocked back and then maybe really regress and spiral and hit rock bottom and then build ourselves back up again. And so I think that inevitable feeling of, oh, I think something's coming for Tony soon, which is unfortunate.